So we are oiling a white and brass Adaptair original. How did you come upon this one?
Well, I have Mark Welker, Andrew Gould, and Brian Hicks to thank for this one. I don't know, somebody found it on Craigslist, I'm not sure who. And Mark actually picked it up for Andrew, but then it turned out it was going to cost way more to ship to Andrew than they had agreed, or that he was able to pay, or whatever the case may be. And so Brian Hicks said, well, why don't you use one of my original shipping cartons, and that'll eliminate that problem. And so with everybody's blessing, I used Brian Hicks' shipping carton and sent it to Mark, and he shipped me the fan, and so it ends up here. And so really I have all three of them to thank. I love Adaptair. If I could only have one Hunter original from any era, from before they were called originals, you know, all the way back in the when they first came out with that design in the early 1900s or whenever it was that they started, all the way to the current ones, it would be an Adaptair, either all polished brass or all antique brass, or some brown and brass variation, if I could only pick one finish. But if, you know, regardless, it would be, okay, looks like I put enough oil in there. It's coming out the bottom. I actually thought I was oh no, look at that. I didn't realize just how much I was putting in there. I was just talking and oil was flowing. Yeah, second favorite would be a 42-inch with the horseshoe irons. If I had to pick if I only could pick two originals to have, I would have an Adaptair, and I would have one of those in polished. Those are the only two originals I saw as a kid. I saw the, you might remember, you've grown up here, Ponderosa. You ever see the originals in Ponderosa?
Sadly, we very rarely went to Ponderosa, and when we did, I don't recall looking for the fans.
It wasn't really, sadly, based on the food, but based on originals it was. Yeah, it wasn't great food. It just, I don't know how we ended up
that's
there.
probably why then.
Yeah, my family did not go out to eat very much. We were not an out-to-eat type of family. And, okay, we're spraying a lot of oil. Let's stop that. I wanted to put something down to catch it, but I couldn't find my oil bucket. Oh, well, I guess that's what we're going to have, a little bit of oil.
Oil shower.
Yeah, I really was trying my hardest not to over-oil this one like I normally do. And, because the oil was going in real slow at first. You know, those zoom spout oilers generally go pretty slow. But, it must have been going faster while I was talking and I didn't notice. So, there are worse problems to have. I'm just trying not to make too big of a mess. That's the only reason it matters. So,
It's pretty well balanced as is. It's just a little bit of a wobble.
one blade is much lower than the rest. I don't know if it's
Yeah, I noticed that.
because it's warped or what.
Doesn't seem to be affecting it too badly though.
No, but
Kind of like my our garage original. Just sometimes you just get lucky with the way it balances itself out.
so it's not all the way tight on here, so that can be part of the problem. I hand tighten those, which is often enough, but
And also it does seem to be warped
yeah.
downward just a bit. So your narration might not be too audible on the video because for the first time this spring we have our gable fan running.
Yeah, well, when we do the real video, I'll turn it off, and the astute observer might notice that the blender fans are on high as well. It's upwards of 70 degrees up here, and stuffy. It's funny how, like, I was just recently doing videos up here, and it was cold. You know, I was having to run the heaters doing videos here earlier this week. And Now it's the opposite. Probably tonight, I mean, if it gets back down low tonight, it'll probably be more of the same. So I'm gonna wash my hands and bring the testing equipment up here, and we can do the for real video. Hey guys, this is a Hunter Adaptair original. This is what we would probably call it, or an original with Adaptair. It is Robbins and Myers. I believe that the Adaptair was only offered during the Robbins and Myers period. You can probably see the tag better than I can. It's 2.5 amps, rated, and what is this, 2.3, oh, I'm dripping oil out of it, nice. 2.3, I can't read the model number. Andy, do you remember what it was?
Not off the top of my head, no.
23303, something like that. Let me get that rag and wipe that oil out. Just, when I tilted it, oil came out. Some of the old oil too, which is, I guess, good that that's making its way out. So, and I'm gonna test it here. This will be the first American-made fan tested with the new control setup that I did an extensive video on with Evergoes. We've modified it for shaded pull fans by making the second 10 microfarad a 20. Okay, so let's do ergo control in the circuit. There we go. 1.35 amps at high. Not high, what am I saying? This is low.
I was going to say, that's leaving a lot of leeway for a fan that's rated for 2.5.
Yeah, and going awfully slow. A lot of these have a low speed that's way too fast. This is actually not egregious, if you ask me. I wonder what the difference is.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's still faster than a true low speed, but
yeah. Okay.
It's not bad.
Next up would be the factory high. Started at 2.67, it's dropping down to 2.62. So we're above the rated 2.5. And there's nothing in the fan to change. So it's probably just because the line current is a little bit higher. What, are these rated for 110 or 120? Looks like 120, but even so.
Now we're moving some air.
Yeah, we definitely are, and we need it. It's a little bit hot and stuffy up here. I was just telling Andy about how it's still, when you need the heaters at night up here and it gets hot and you need the gable fan during the day. We're about 75 up here right now, so my wife would probably still call it cold. And let's see what we get from it airflow-wise back here. It doesn't win, I'll tell you that much. There are some American-made fans, some stack motor fans, K55 type fans, that give me more back here than this does. It's comparable to anything else I'd call the gentle breeze back here. You know, the antiques definitely move a lot more air back here than this does, which is surprising because the current rating is similar. These are never like just egregiously fast fans though. Okay. So let's turn high off, and I guess the next step to do would be to do the factory speeds in reverse.
Or updraft. Not really reversing anything.
That's true.
Except the pitch.
Yeah? Would you like to do the honors?
I will. Should I let it spin down first?
Yes. It looks to my eyes that the Adaptair mechanism is a different color from the switch housing, but I don't know why that is. We cleaned everything using the same solvents. Man, I love Adaptair. It's just cool looking.
Alright, so we stopped in just the right spot there.
Okay. So turn it to low. Then one of the things I've wanted to do, that I haven't had a chance to do yet, is essentially the same thing I did with the reverse airs at 12 wings, where technically you couldn't get an Adaptair mechanism with a reversible motor at 1.32 because they stopped making the Adaptair mechanism before. It started that bit up at 2.9. It's dropping down. They switched from Adaptair to reverse air before they introduced the.
We are getting blender fan motion.
Are we? Something would pass the test again. Wonder why the original will do it, but the antiques won't.
I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that we've got the window open.
I was wondering that too, actually.
I mean, the blender fan wasn't moving before, and it seems to have stalled. But it did turn at about maybe half a turn.
Yeah, I think right about half a turn.
Yeah, there is air moving through here, as we can see from the gable fan, which has never stopped moving even though it's off.
Yeah. Okay. 2.71. So we're drawing more current in reverse than we do in updraft than we do in downdraft. Would you like to do the honors once again, or should I do it this time?
What are we doing?
Reversing it back.
Go ahead.
Okay. Once was enough for you?
Sure.
Let's see here. Okay. So now we're going to start introducing some of the new control. This will be very interesting to find where, at what microfarad rating, a original shaded pole motor will start turning. So this first test is to determine if you were to make your own wall control for a shaded pole original, what capacitor values you would need. 18, 19.
Oh.
Right, 19 started it. Let's go back to 18. Okay, 18. 19. So you would need a 19 microfarad capacitor, which you'd probably have to get by combining other values for it to start. Now, I'm going to turn it off by I removed the 10, so now we're at 9 microfarads, so there's still current going through it, but it's going to stop, I'm sure, because I want to reverse it. And the reason I want to reverse it is because we saw that it was drawing more current in reverse, which means the blades are providing more of a load in reverse or updraft, as we should correctly call it. And so I want to see if that affects its ability to start. Is it not going to spin down? Is it going to just keep going with the 9 because it got started? Did it just need that to get started?
Maybe so. Just stall it out and see what it does. Yeah, I guess it doesn't want to start again.
Okay. Let's reverse it. And then I'm going to go back to 18. Interesting. Now it starts in 18. Let's go back to 17. 18. So I guess it depends on rotor position more than anything. Okay, so it does not appear that the minute difference in load from having the blades reversed made any difference in its okay. Reverse it back. 1.5, 23, 1.6, 24, 1.7. 25, 1.8, 26, 1.9. That was a big arc. 27, 2.0. That seems like a good candidate for a medium speed. So 27. I guess you could do it with 9s, 18, and then another 9. 28, 2.16. 29, 2.3, 30, 2.46. And then let's get 30 a different way. Let's drop that back. 30 there. $31. 2.46. 2.48, 32, 2.65, 2.8 for 33, 2.4. Are we okay? We're hitting a resonant frequency. Let's go to. Yes, we were hitting a resonant frequency, so that's no good. So we do not want to feed it a value above 30, let's just say. You can tell because when it hit a resonant frequency, the current jumped higher than it was with just direct power, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Andy?
Run it by me again.
Okay. When we got over like 30,
Okay.
I can find out exactly where it was. When we got over 30 something, it actually drew more current with the capacitors than it did wired direct.
Oh, wow.
Because it was hitting a resonant frequency. Okay. Now, if you were to be adding, if you want to make this a 3-speed fan, you wouldn't wire your capacitor in series with high, you'd wire it in series with low. So we're going to switch it to low and see what capacitor value is needed. While it spins down, I'm going to drink some water, because it is thirsty up here. Okay.